Greetings, my name is McDaniel-Lee, and today I will be talking with you about comprehension and the ways that we as teachers could support students who lack comprehension. So, first of all, in order for a student to master comprehension, they must first have all four of these components, which is they must master fluency, they must master vocabulary, phonemic awareness, as well as phonics. There are 5 ways to support students who struggles with reading comprehension. According to Nina Parrish's article, we could first start by targeting overall comprehension of language, teaching vocabulary, teaching thinking strategies, have students to practice reciprocal teaching, and directly teaching comprehension skills. Okay, so first we have to target overall comprehension of language. According to this text, students who struggle with reading comprehension often struggle with language comprehension. Students who have poor reading comprehension also often understand fewer spoken words of what they hear and have worse spoken grammar. So basically what this means is that students sometimes doesn't understand the words that they read or words that are being spoken to them. So it's up to us as educators to kind of break those words down and just give them a deeper meaning of the words and have them to basically look at pictures, use any kind of visual to kind of compare the words. So they see the word and then they see the picture, and they can kind of connect those things together to kind of get their thinking process to go into helping them to better understand what the word means. The next one is to teach vocabulary. Students who have poor comprehension skills often have problems with vocabulary. It becomes hard for them to understand what they hear. It basically helps if you show students pictures to match with the words that they are reading or saying. I know when I taught kindergarten, I would always use pictures, any kind of visuals, and sometimes tangible things where they can feel and touch to kind of make it more, fun for them to learn the vocabulary, because sometimes it may be a little frustrating for them. So it's good while teaching vocabulary to kind of make those connections and show those visual aids. Teaching, we must teach thinking strategies. Teachers can instruct students on cognitive strategies they can use. Teachers can also develop questions for students while they are reading. This basically means that with teachers, we could basically turn our students into questionnaires. Like we could give them in the habit of, when they read a particular text, they can stop and ask themselves, like, okay, well, what does this mean? Or what did the author mean about this particular statement? Or why did the author do this in this particular sentence? To kind of get their brains going and kind of get them into thinking on their own versus us having to ask them questions. So when they get off on their own, they'll be able to kind of go through that thinking process alone, and helps them to comprehend what they are reading on their own versus us kind of helping them out. They'll already have adapted to the particular thinking strategy that we already have put in their minds to do whenever they are reading something. The next one is practice reciprocal teaching. When we do that, it's just reciprocal teaching encourages students to take a leadership role in their learning. It allows students to become more engaging with classroom discussions and in reading groups. Basically, it teaches students basically to take that leadership role into their education, basically guiding their own way of learning things. When, for an example, when they are and you put them in a small group, they learn to kind of take that leadership role and to ask questions and become more familiar with how to ask questions and just kind of guide their groups into whatever they're reading without this without having the teacher to kind of guide them. The next one is to teach comprehension skills. They will be taught skills such as sequencing, story structure, and how to draw conclusion. Teaching comprehension skills is very important when we're talking about comprehension. I know Nina Parrish, when she talks about how teaching those comprehension skills makes students want to learn how to better sequence the story and the story structure, and how to be able to draw conclusions about the story, and kind of make emphasis on what they think the story will be about, or maybe that they'll think about what may happen in the beginning of the story, or what happens in the middle. They can kind of pretty much map out, oh, here's the beginning, here's the middle, here's the end. And also be able to draw conclusions like, okay, after reading this, I think that this will happen in the story. So teaching those comprehension skills is very important. Like I said before, in order for a child to develop those comprehension skills, they must know how to, they must have all four of those different components that I mentioned earlier to help them be successful. Here are my sources that I used to create this presentation, and thanks for watching.